Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we are going to be checking out the Masters of the Universe Origins Horde Trooper, evil mechanical enforcer of Hordak. Yes, the army builder for Masters of the Universe is finally at retail with this brand new Origins figure, and we are going to dive right in and check it out. Of course, he comes on that standard Origins style blister card packaging that is very reminiscent of what we got in the vintage line. New for 22, still has the modern posing retro play burst up there. As you can see, there's also a brand new mini comic behind the figure, and we've got the evil Horde sticker on the front of the blister bubble, paying homage to the vintage toy line, of course. And as we rotate this box around to the backside, the top features some awesome new artwork showing Thunder Punch He-Man wreaking havoc on an army of Horde Troopers. I love how they're exploding the same way that the toys do. I think that's a fun little nod in the artwork there. Also, Thunder Punch He-Man, pretty cool to see that. And then down below that, we get a cross-sell as well, showing off all of the figures in this current wave. And we get the action feature callout showing how the feature works just like that of the vintage toy. So let's go ahead and get this guy pulled out of the packaging, and we will get a closer look at the figure within. Alright, so we've got our brand new Origins Horde Trooper outside of the packaging. It is worth noting he comes with the brand new mini comic that stars Sunman and some of the other characters from this wave. Although the Horde Trooper, oh yeah, I guess he shows up on the very last panel there. I was going to say, he's not really part of the story, but he's there. So all of the figures in the wave do appear in the brand new mini comic. And if I bring in the tape measure, you can see that the figure stands actually right at 6 inches tall. Now the Horde Trooper is a little more standing straight up and down, which is why he gets that little extra boost, because he still fits in with the 5.5 inch scale, just like the vintage figure and all the other figures in this line so far. Now, if you had that PowerCon exclusive Horde pack, we have already seen this figure, though he was done in red and black. But that figure is exactly the same. So all of the features are the same. He still has the same action feature as the vintage, where if you press the red Hordak on the front, the button there, he pops apart. You can see it pops just in half and kind of exposes the red robotic parts underneath, so that way you can, have He-Man punch him and he falls apart. It actually works really well, a little bit better than the vintage. The head sits up higher, you can see it good, it clips together really nicely, it's a good solid button, so I think it's a really, really nice feature. It's neat that they kind of kept that vintage feature intact, but that they improved upon it, I think. It definitely clips together nicer and feels like it functions altogether better. So articulation, of course, is the same on there as well. Actually does match up with the rest of the vintage line, including the swappable parts. Like, you can still remove the arms from the socket, which is really nice. You can still remove the head. Though, here, we got to open him up so you can see it a little bit better. Obviously, he's a bit of a weird shaped head there, but same ball joint, so you can still kind of pop that off if you want to. So he does still feature all of the same mixing and matching, even at the waist, which is really impressive considering they built in that action feature. The main thing I really want to talk about with this guy is his deco, because they did do something a little bit different this time. You see, the Horde Trooper has always been depicted as being a light gray in color. The original figure was light gray, the classics version was light gray, he was always that way in the cartoon series in She-Ra, but this is a very silver in color. In fact, you can tell that they molded it in silver, so much so that it's got kind of that marbleized effect to it, and you can really see that marbleization in the silver on some of the larger parts there. You can see it really big on kind of the boot pieces at the bottom. You can really see it in the arms, and you can see it in the head. I want to point out this right here. That almost looks like a giant crack in the top of his head, but it's not. That's a swirl in that kind of marbly look to the silver that they did there. And I've got to say, I don't quite know how I feel about this. At first, I was like, wow, he's awfully shiny. And typically, yes, I really like shiny toys. But it's a little weird seeing him so shiny and silver like this instead of the more pale gray that we typically see him. And then that marbly look, I don't know. I don't really know if I like it. So I'm really curious to hear what everybody else thinks about it. You know, like the silver's kind of nice. It's got a nice shine to it, and he is supposed to be a robot after all. So I suppose I understand why they did that, and they really made him stand out. But it is weird because it's so much different than the light gray that we see typically for this character. And like the weird marbly stuff is what really throws me off. I think I would have liked it better if it didn't have that, because, I mean, seriously, the head on mine looks so weird. Like he's got this big gash in his head, but that's not what it is at all. It's just a weird swirl. So I don't know. Again, maybe I'll feel better about it after looking at him on my shelf for a while. It's just a little off-putting, or it just really stood out to me when I first opened him up. So I don't know. There you go. Mixed feelings on that for sure. The only accessory it comes with is the little staff, just like on the vintage toy. Again, same staff that we saw with that Horde Trooper pack, but this one is molded in red, just like the vintage toy. He can hold that in his right hand, because that's his gripping hand. Left hand is closed fist. This one does not come with crossbows like the two did that were in that larger pack. So just the staff there. All right, guys. It's comparison time. Let's go ahead and see him standing alongside his vintage action figure counterpart. Again, very similar in design, but I just really think that stands out. You can really see what I was talking about with the colors between these two figures. And he did get a version in the Masters of the Universe Classics line as well, so I want to throw that guy in there so you can see these two side by side. And there you have it. Technically, the third Horde Trooper in the line so far, but the first one that's more inspired by the vintage toy and will be hitting retail stores. Definitely an army builder. How many of these are you guys planning to get? For me personally, I only have the one right now, but that's because I was able to catch him in stock on Target's website, and he kept selling out real fast, coming back, selling out, so I was lucky that I grabbed one. I actually still have 4 more on pre-order through Big Bad Toy Store. I think that's all I need. That's probably more than I need. But I wanted to have at least 2 on either side of Hordak to flank them. Then I've got my red one and my black one. So I guess I have a small army. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how easy these are to get at retail. But at least the pre-orders still seem to be easy to get online. For those out there that really want to do some army building, I would really recommend doing it that way. It's just easier. So thank you guys so very much for watching this video. And until next time, my friends.